Dun 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 dun
Okay,
dun
I'm
dun
restarting
dun
this.
dun 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 504 Court Podcast. Olympic time, training camp time, football season's here, and right now, Mike, I'm watching a shootout for water polo, women's water polo. You know what? The United States. Oh, she got it. Dang it. Um, Watching it, this sport is insane, Mike. Dude, they're swimming. Their feet can't touch the ground. They're swimming in a huge pool with people on top of them playing handball soccer. It's insane. It's insane. The Olympics have been great. I know you're not an Olympic guy for whatever reason. You know, you just like to be. Oh, USA got it just now. But the Olympics have been great. It's been awesome to watch. You know, Kristen Nuss, who Victoria played against a lot at Mount Carmel. And we played against at Coconut Beach. You know, sadly they lost, but it was great to watch them go out there and compete. But you want to talk about Saints training camp first before we get back
um,
to the Olympics?
yeah, we're gonna get Zach Nagy in here. I know he wants to hear your thoughts about the Olympics as we go along. Yeah, Saints. I don't really know. I don't really know what to make of the Saints training camp. You know, there's positive stories, there's negative stories that come out. It's just typical for, I guess, any team. I just saw someone just tweeted like 10 seconds ago. It said Chase Young had three straight sacks to close out team on Trevor Penning. He hit another level. So I said
The
it once
offensive
before.
lines could be atrocious.
Yeah, probably. I mean, McCoy's really good. I think Fuaga is going to be really, really good. Everything I've read and seen, he seems just solid. Ruiz just is an average guard. It's just the left side of the line is going to be questionable. I guess is Fuaga going to play the right or left? Like I would assume he's going to play the left, right?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to take ram checks. No,
I mean, I always heard that Penning's transitioned to the right. So,
yeah,
but yeah, no, Penning's pretty much the X factor of this team this year, honestly. And I don't think that's really a controversial thing to say. So, if he even plays average, I think he'll be just a massive difference maker for the Saints this year. Yeah, the offensive line's questionable. Justin Simmons came in for a visit. Is he going to sign? I don't know. Dennis Allen said they left or he left. So
big
I don't know what
surprise.
number. I don't. You watched him at Denver. Is he really that good? Is he just
He's
like
good. He's a good leader. He's a good teammate guy. I believe he leads the NFL in interceptions since he's came into the league.
okay?
He's a really good player. Shocked that he didn't sign at the beginning of training camp. Because that's when we thought he was waiting for the beginning of training camp. He got interest from the Colts, from the Ravens, from the Titans, now the Saints. Um, it's it's kind of shocking he hasn't signed with a team, but he would be a good addition. My problem though, and people always I see this on Twitter. It's a misconception. It's like, oh, Dennis Allen could get free agents. Dennis Allen can get aging free agents. All right. Sean Payton never went after these guys because he believed in the NFL. It's better to cut somebody too early than too late. Sean liked to get Australia just won. God damn it. Fuck. Um, yeah, but Sean Payton always believed it is better to cut somebody too early than too late. That's why he always got the undrafted players. That's why he always went with the younger guy than the older guy. The Saints are an aging roster now. Like on defense, they're ancient. They look great on paper, but NFL defenses typically have like a 5-year span where they can be really good. Legion of Boom, they got old. They broke up. The Broncos, when they won that Super Bowl, they got old. They broke up. Every great defense besides Ray Lewis and Ed Reed has only had like a 5-year span of when they were really, really good. So that's my concern about this defense is that they're just Cam Jordan's 34 years old. Where's the sack pressure is going to come after? Chase Young? Maybe Chase Young is very good. Maybe, he fulfills his potential. Demario Davis is like 35 years old. I think he's still going to be a good player, but is he going to be the same player he was 3-4 years ago? Tyrann Mathieu's not the same player he was 3-4 years ago. Marshawn Lattimore continues to get hurt.
No, I mean I agree with you. It has backfired on Peyton a little bit in certain years. I know he's even said he got rid of Malcolm Jenkins. He thought he's getting
Darren
rid of him.
Sproles.
Yeah, Darren Sproles, Malcolm Jenkins, but there really hasn't been too many outside of those two guys. I agree with you. That's always kind of been my thinking behind Marshawn Lattimore trading him because 1 year cornerbacks are excellent. The next year, I mean, look at Xavier Rhodes. Everyone praised Xavier Rhodes is like one of the best cornerbacks a few years
Michael
ago.
Thomas into that, bro.
Yeah, and then Xavier Thomas is supposed to be like a top 5 cornerback, and then like a year and a half later, like I think he got cut. Like it's just crazy how fast DBs can fall off. Running backs and DBs fall off so fast. But yeah, I mean I agree with the philosophy, and then the defense is aging. I would think, we still have the best secondary. I feel like, I mean, we're missing a safety opposite of Matthew. Matthew's still pretty solid. I wouldn't say he's, a bad player by any means, but has he lost a step? Yeah. But yeah, if you sign Justin Simmons, Matthew, and then, the 4 cornerbacks we have is, Lattimore, Adebo, Taylor, and McKinstry. I mean, that's the uh, best cornerbacks in the league, like group of cornerbacks in the league. So, and then linebackers, I mean, you're not that deep in it, but you signed Willie Gay. I think he'll be a nice addition, nice backup. But yeah, you signed extended Warner today. Yeah, Damari Davis seems like he doesn't really age, which is nice. He's still a really good leader. And then I think they're going to move Cam Jordan on the inside a lot this year. I think they're going to let Chase Young and Chase Young, Peyton Turner, hopefully he kind of turns a corner, but he's never freaking healthy. And then Carl Granderson, probably my favorite Saint last year. Carl Granderson was amazing last year. He was the most productive defensive player I thought we had, maybe outside Davis and Adebo. So yeah, he was really good. And then Brzee, hopefully he can take another step. That guy Boyd we got in the 6th round, that defensive tackle. I heard Nick Underhill's been praising him. I think he's probably going to be a really good player. I don't, how much can you expect out of a rookie defensive tackle, 6th-round pick? I don't know, but maybe one of those guys can step up. So there's going to be like a big rotation of guys. I think the defense will be solid. They're going to get carried by a shitty schedule. I mean, the schedule is so easy. But and then your division as well is really, 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 really bad. So I would assume you'd win 4 out of 6 division games. I think that should be like the standard. So I mean, you probably split Tampa, probably split Atlanta, and then Carolina you probably just sweep. So that's 4 wins right there. So I think that's pretty reasonable to expect. But you never know. I say it every year. It comes down to injuries, and we'll see. Like you said, aging defense.
And your quarterback, they could go through 3 quarterbacks pretty quickly with that offensive line.
Well, good thing we got Jake and the future Rattler, right? With
Yeah,
everyone's
dude,
delusional.
the promised band, dude, he's gonna leave us to the promised land. Spencer Rattler.
I do enjoy the memes of Rattler taking us, to a
The
Super
Super Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is entertaining.
Alfonso Aguilar is a big believer in him.
Yeah, the delusion's real with people. It is kind of funny. But yeah, so sometimes you just
Shout out
gotta,
Alfonso.
yeah, you just gotta have you just got to be realistic sometimes. You just can't drink the Kool-Aid McKinstry too much. So, yeah, it's just I don't know. I haven't really paid that much attention to like Saints media. I'm trying, like I said, just trying not to get too much into it. I just read certain beat writers, and that's about it, and just see who does well in camp. You don't really have a third receiver. I think Kamara is going to be used as a receiver a lot too. Yeah. Offensive line, biggest question mark, and then aging defense.
Because Callaway making a return.
You think he'll take the 3rd spot?
I don't know, dude. I was just joking.
I'm
But
really high on A.T. Perry. I don't know why they're not. I
yeah,
mean, he showed up last year when they needed
he
him.
did. He did.
And then you can supplement like weird guys like Taysom and Juwan Johnson. He has a good game every like 4 games. And then he just doesn't do anything. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of. It's gonna be like a traditional Saints offense. I feel like just like one or two guys lead the charge, and then you're going to have other guys randomly getting 5 or 6 catch games and then not hear from them for weeks. So that's kind of how it was with Breeze. What did Breeze have? Like one Pro Bowl receiver, and it was Thomas. Like he
Yeah.
didn't.
I
He
mean,
didn't
he
really have
really
any.
had two
Like
in Marcus
Colston.
Paulson, but,
Yeah.
Pro
Yeah. I
Bowl's
mean,
stupid.
it's going to be like a committee on the offense with I mean, Shaheed and Olave should be nice, but then, outside that, I think it's going to be random group of guys getting touches. So I don't know. Hopefully Kendra Miller too. That's another guy I'm kind of keeping an eye out for. Hopefully he can't stay healthy either. So Saints love injury prone guys. I don't get it.
Big fan of him, man. Big fan.
Yeah,
You know what's crazy? So I thought that was a Peyton thing, right? But the Broncos last year were dead last in injuries.
any reason behind that, you think?
I don't know, but I know this camp they really haven't had anyone injured either. The
Hmm.
Broncos. Where I see the Saints, bro, they have it looks like a fucking grocery list for players injured during days of camp.
Yeah, I don't get it. Saints Pelicans is it the bayou water down here? I don't understand. There's always an injury. There's always big injuries on both teams. It's so aggravating. Going back to Fonzie, he's convinced because we're on the Ochsner system and not Tulane medical system. So
Well, he's hurt too, man.
yeah, true. Everyone in New Orleans is injured. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's Saints are interesting. I'm not getting my hopes up this. I'm not really getting my hopes up this year. I pretty much know what this team is. Is there upside due to the schedule and
I
the
got a hot
defense?
take.
But all right, let's hear it.
The Broncos are going to be better than the Saints this year.
Is that really a hot take?
Well, yeah, considering most people consider Broncos to have the worst roster in the NFL.
You want
Um,
to break it down by position groups?
no, all right. I'll tell you this: Bo Nix, who I was a Bo Nix hater, and I did not like Bo Nix. Bo Nix looks good. He's a Peyton quarterback. He can get rid of the ball quickly. Can move in the pocket. He is smart. He understands systems. He also doesn't take sacks, which Peyton likes. Running back Javonte Williams lost 10 pounds. He looks really good. Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be the third down back. And then they got Audric Estime at running back, who had 18 touchdowns at Notre Dame and over 1,700 yards. Receiver, they got Cortland Sutton. They got Marvin Mims, who made the Pro Bowl as a returner. He's fast. But watch out for Vele from Utah, right? Big, tall, lengthy receiver. Drafted in the 7th round, but Peyton loves those big receivers up the middle, and he loves those late round draft pick receivers / undrafted free agent.
What's his
What's
name?
up? This is forgot Vale's first name. Give me a second.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously the Broncos season comes down to Bo Nix, so how good he is.
Yeah, and look, they're listed at 5.5 wins. I think they get to 7 or 8. I'm not saying they make the playoffs, but Sean Payton's team. Yeah, Devaughn Vale. Devaughn Vale. That's the receiver to look out for the Broncos, not Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin has struggled to get off the line a little bit. At tight end, they got Lucas Kroll, who's impressed. They also got,
Former Saints guy, right?
Adam Big Fish is going to make the roster as a blocking tight end as well. Adam Troutman. Offensive line, Quinn Miners, one of the best offensive guards in the NFL. He's listed 3rd last year. They got Mike Mckinstry at the tackles. They got Ben Powers. He's a solid player. Their offensive line's not bad. They're way better than the Saints. It's a typical Peyton goddamn offense where he has 2 really good guards, right? So his quarterbacks can step up in the pocket and they can run them damn screens. Defensively, they're like the no-name defense. I think they have one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, Pat Surtain. But Jonathan Cooper, 8.5 sacks. Nick Bonito is really good. Byron Browning, those are guys that aren't going to get 10 plus sacks, but they're going to get around 8 or 7. Their linebacking core is not that great. Alex Singleton gets a lot of tackles, but I don't know how he is in pass coverage. Secondary, I think, should be good. They might actually have the first white cornerback start since 2002, beating Cooper DeJean and O'Reilly Moss, who's also an Iowa guy. I spoke to Riley one-on-one on Tuesday. Riley is had 11 picks at Iowa, really good playmaker on the ball. Obviously, you got Pat Surtain, you got PJ Locke, and then you got Johnson from Miami as well, who's, I believe, a Pro Bowler with the Dolphins last season. Their roster is okay, but with the Peyton system, I feel like I think Audric Estime could break out at running back, the rookie from Notre Dame. I think Devaughn Vele could break out a receiver just because Peyton's system allows for those kind of guys to break through. And dude, I want the Saints to do well, but I believe you win up front. You win up front in the NFL, and the Broncos have a better offensive line than the Saints. So that's why I have a little bit more confidence in the Broncos because of their offensive line and also Sean Payton calling plays.
Yeah, I mean the coaching's obviously there with Denver over the Saints offensive line. Sounds like everything else is kind of a toss up with regarding everything else. So, I mean, Saints have it pretty favorable with their schedule. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But yeah, like I said, Penning is literally the X factor for all this. Is it? You said Troy Franklin's struggling. He's the guy. He's a speedster from Oregon, right?
Yeah, he's struggling because you also got a lot of receivers there, right? So you have Marvin Mims. You also got Tim Patrick, who's been hurt the last 2 years, but he's a guy who's very consistent early on in his career. I like Vale, but they also got Josh Reynolds from Detroit, who's been really, really looking good as well. I think Josh Reynolds is the second receiver. I think Mims is kind of the third, and then Vale's the fourth, with Tim Patrick the fifth. So maybe they keep Troy Franklin as the sixth. But
You're saying he's a potential cut candidate? What was
yes,
he, like a third, fourth round pick? What was
fourth,
he?
fourth round
Fourth.
pick.
He was regarded as like second round pick going in the draft.
Yeah,
But yeah, he like frail, like
he's just
he
we
always
need to
looks
see a game.
skinny.
We need to see him in the game, and when he catches the ball, if he can make plays.
But
That's
he's kind of like a one
ultimately,
trick pony though. Like he's like a go
yeah,
route receiver.
he's fast,
Yeah.
right? But they already have that with Marvin Mims,
Hmm.
right? So we're sitting here watching Dwayne Wade give an analysis. Team USA and Serbia about to tip off, big game in a lot of ways, Mike. I'm pumped up about it. But yeah, I'm reading your last little statement. Could Sean Payton be on the hot seat if he disappoints this year? No, he's got a rookie quarterback. Sean Payton has all the control in the world with this organization. He can do no wrong. This year is only one thing important for the Broncos, Mike, and that is to find out if Bo Nix is the franchise guy. If they suck and he's not the franchise guy, okay, guess what you're doing in the first round next year? You're drafting another quarterback. If Bo Nix is the guy and what Peyton believes, then guess what? You have your franchise quarterback. You get the Russell Wilson cap off the books in 2 years, and you're really ready to compete.
That's one thing I do love about Denver is they just said, F it, like just cut Wilson. You know it's a problem. Just rip the band-aid off. And it just they're paying what, like 95% of his salary right now. So yeah, I mean they admitted it's a problem. You got rid of him, so I'm kind of hoping the Saints, but the Saints would do that with Carr if Carr really just does not do well this year. Um, they just I think not extended, but they like reworked Carr's contract to make it even a bigger hole. So that's like one thing I wish they didn't do. But I've always really admired Denver for doing that. As a fan, like you might bitch about it, but like long term, it is probably the best thing to do. Culture is a big thing in the NFL. I know that's one of Peyton's hallmarks. I know when Peyton came to the Saints, he literally started cutting all sorts of players. I know he caught.
I mean, it was Stallworth. He released
Yeah,
Stallworth immediately for Marcus Colston, who's a seventh round draft pick. Stallworth was a known guy in the NFL. That's why I say, man, like Sean Payton isn't afraid to cut guys. Like
yeah.
he's
No,
not afraid.
culture is important. I mean, if you have a bad culture, you're more than likely going to have a bad team. So, if you got one guy just kind of eroding it, you got to get rid of them. So I've always liked that about them. What are reports coming out like Bo Nix? Is it like actually positive or is it just kind of like,
Reports, bro. I watch him every single day. It's the first day I haven't been out there in a long time. Dude, he's good. He looks good. You had one bad interception that kind of went viral on social media, but guess what? Rookie quarterbacks are going to throw a lot of interceptions. It's
Yeah.
training camp, but he makes his smart plays. He gets the ball out of his hands. He's faster than people think, which I don't know if people watch him at Auburn, but that's what he was known for was his athleticism. He's a Sean Payton quarterback. I'm excited to see. I think he's going to win the job. He
Okay.
is.
Well, who's he going up? Who is he going against?
Jared Stidham. I mean, Zach Wilson's been getting third reps. He hasn't taken a starter rep in 2 weeks now. So it's been Stidham and Nix going back and forth. Stidham's a solid backup. He's a guy who understands the offense. He's smart. But Bo Nix is Sean Payton's guy.
Okay. So that guy you said is it undrafted, the receiver? Is that like your fantasy like sleeper guy for
So
Denver?
a seventh round pick. I would put him in draft him in the 15th round. I know we're
Yeah.
discussing right now a new fantasy league. I'm very excited about. We got some more rules, Mike, to talk about
Well,
with this fantasy league.
we'll talk off air, but yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for sleepers. There's guys all over the place in the league that people probably aren't talking about. So
I have one rule, one strategy. I draft a lot of rookie running backs
yeah,
every
no,
single
that's
year.
always easy.
I draft, like people aim high. I draft for players who I know will be good, like known receivers, like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like guys who you would get production out of. Travis Kelsey, right? And then I draft a lot of rookie running backs. That's been my thing. 2 years ago, I went with Brees Hall. He was great the first 6 weeks. Guess what? He got injured. It kind of sucked. Last year, I had A Chain. I had the running back from the Lions, Alabama kid. Fuck,
Get
what's his name?
Gibbs.
Gibbs. I had a lot of rookie running backs. And you know what? I have a freaking dynasty in my league. So I think it's working out.
What There weren't really any good running backs this year, though. I mean, Jonathan Brooks, but he's on Carolina. Carolina's a terrible offensive line. He's coming off from an ACL. I'm always super happy when in division rivals draft running backs in the first 2 rounds. I think it's.
I think Bijan Robinson's going to be a monster this year.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely improve. Who were the first 3 picks in your mind? My friend was like, "Oh, I got the first pick." I was like, "Who you going with? Like Tyreek? Like who you thinking?" He's like, "Dude, I don't know." I mean, Jefferson would be a fun one, but he doesn't really have a quarterback
The
that's going to
quarterback.
be.
So I would go
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson.
You put Bijan at 3.
I think Bijan's going to be the second best running back in this year.
I could see
That's
it.
another thing. Like I'm different from people too, where people are like, oh, that's not what the draft board says. I don't give a fuck what the draft board says.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take the guy with the upside or take a guy. I don't know. Everyone's their own manager, man. Like can't be a slave. Can't be a slave to the rankings. So
100%.
yeah. Would you rather have Laporta or Kelsey this year?
Still Kelsey because you know what you're getting from him.
I think I'd rather have Laporta. I think Kelsey's gonna fall off a cliff this year.
Laporta's going to be great, but dang, Serbia. All right. It's 10-6. Jokic doing Jokic things, making assists. Um, where's Zach Nagy at?
No, he's doing LSU things. But yeah, no, that's I think Kelsey's gonna fall off a cliff this year. I really do. It seems like he's older. He pretty much doesn't really care until week like I don't know 15. So seems like he doesn't really. He just tries to make it to the playoffs, and then I mean he really wasn't doing much until later in the year last year. So he's on his T Swift tour. We'll see, but. Yeah, wait. Serbia is playing U.S. basketball, right? What's the
Yes,
score?
right now. It's 13-9 Serbia. Curry just hit an insane shot, but Jokic with back-to-back assists. Now Curry, another three, bang, got it. 13-12, one point game, 6 minutes left in the first. Really back and forth. Steph Curry, 11 points so far. Here comes Serbia, little pick and pop. They get the ball to Jokic every possession, which is smart. Nobody there. Another good pass.
All right, Corey.
blocked,
All
tip.
right, all right, all right.
This
We're
is play
not,
by play, man. This is exciting. This is what you live
sir.
for.
This is a podcast. Yeah, no, that's
Curry again.
So
Holy
wait,
crap.
and then France is playing in the finals, right?
Yeah, Steph Curry's got 14 now.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you watched every game? Dude, I barely
Yes.
pay attention to like. I'm trying not to pay attention to any sports right now. It's kind of nice getting a little break from it.
I got you, dude. Like it was just like talking about the Olympics real quick. Like it was awesome watching rugby, women's rugby, getting that bronze. Curry from half court. No, I missed. Seeing them get bronze, first ever U.S. team, any rugby to get it. Rugby's a fun game. Then
Who wins it
watching a
every
lot
year? Like Australia?
New Zealand,
Oh, okay.
Australia. France is really good. There's a lot of European countries that are good, but then like watching badminton and fencing and beach, obviously beach volleyball. That's where I met my fiance and stuff. So that has a special place in my heart. But I love the
Yeah.
Olympics. Love seeing United States still be on top, dominating all these other countries, and you know, it's cool to see. So
No, it's cool. You just like I just don't get how people like pretend to care about fencing like out of the blue. Like they don't
it's
even
just
know.
cool to watch, man. You don't get to watch it ever again. Same thing with like water polo. When am I going to watch water polo again?
Yeah, but
Or
that's what I'm saying.
swimming?
I'm not gonna sit here and watch it and like get upset over it when I learned about it 37 seconds ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, okay, like I like no one even a lot of people aren't gonna remember. I think like beach volleyball is cool, like stuff that like relates to a lot of people, but like some stuff people like freak out about. I'm like, I get too annoyed watching the Saints and Pelicans that for me to be
Oh,
like,
oh no. Serbia's up 5.
well, Serbia has like
Dude,
one player.
if Jokic if Jokic pulls this off, this is more impressive than anything he's ever done.
You think?
Well, 3 MVPs. Dude, think who's on Team USA. LeBron, KD,
Oh
Steph,
yeah, I mean every
Drew
guy.
Holiday. You got
Yeah,
Nikola Jokic playing the Avengers.
the last guy on Team USA is light years above the second best guy on Serbia. So um,
100%.
it's crazy. But what's like Denver media saying about Jamal Murray? Kind of struggling. People are
Terrible.
worried, huh?
It's been horrible.
Yeah,
He's,
Uh,
he's been he's been rough, Mike.
but
Like
he
there's
wasn't very
no
good in the playoffs either. So
he's
is there concern there about that?
injury. Yes, there's injury. Also, he needs the ball in his hands. He's like Brandon Ingram, where he didn't have the ball in his hands. Dude, Embiid is terrible during this. He's foul. He just flopped again and get the call. And I'm sorry. Embiid's a foul merchant. That's another thing, Mike. Getting off topic here. I love the FIBA basketball rules. Everything about FIBA basketball, I love. I love that they don't call flopping, right? I love the rim, like where you can smack the ball outside of a rim. I love the pace of the game. I love how defense is way better during it. FIBA basketball is awesome. They just took Embiid out.
Daniel
But
Tice would be
back
a
on,
max player if the NBA had FIBA rules. Daniel Tice is a great Olympic player, but you know the reason
yeah,
why the NBA won't adopt this, right? Because less stoppage. When there's less stoppage, I mean they need commercials, so they need to pay their guys $1 trillion at this point. So, um,
more
yeah, no,
media time.
FIBA rules are way better. Everyone prefers FIBA like rules, but like NBA is not going to change because more stoppages, more everything means more commercials, more airtime for stuff. So, um, yeah, FIBA is definitely way better, and yeah, Embiid is annoying. I think Embiid's catching a lot of shit this year, and I think rightfully so. I'm just glad he's playing against Jokic. He never plays against Jokic, and that's supposed to be some kind of underlying rivalry in the NBA. So that's kind of nice to see.
But
Um,
when they played the first matchup, Mike, when Jokic was on the floor, the score was 81-81. When he was off the floor, the score was 29-3.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Jokic is definitely the best player in the league, or just the world, not even the league. I mean, the league is have the best guys, but yeah, Jokic is the best player in the world. I don't really see how that can be debatable. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man. But yeah,
Well, real quick, Brandon Ingram.
Oh
Does he
God.
get a contract extension or does he stay in the team?
I I don't know. They're saying he wants max money. Like, okay, yeah, cool, I get it, but like, who the hell's going to pay you max money? Can you name me one team that's going to want to do that? So
The Utah Jazz.
you think you think the Jazz would do it
I mean, they just signed Curly to a long term deal, so they
early?
they want to start winning.
Yeah, I mean, Markkanen's good. That's a pretty rich contract in my opinion for him. I know the NBA's kind of gotten ridiculous with the max stuff, but I think it is starting to tighten up with this new CBA where you pretty much can only have two max guys, and if you have a third max guy, like you really can't build out your roster, kind of like what Phoenix has done. Phoenix got Jones from Washington. I have no idea how they got him so cheap. That needs to be investigated. Yeah, it's I don't really know. I can maybe count two teams on my hand that might want to do that. Maybe three, but what, like Portland, Utah, maybe Detroit, but Detroit's a weird. I don't know. I don't think Detroit would do it. I don't really know who wants to cough up that amount of money. They said he wanted like $50 million a year. Like he's not worth $50 million a year.
He's not, but I
Just
think if any team that would to do it right now is actually Utah, just because, and they got a billion picks, so they make sense.
I don't even think it's so much about the picks. I just think it would be like you get
Money.
Kessler, so you get you get your center, and then you would get like Sexton and John Collins, who would be your backup four and like a small ball five. So that would solve some issues because the Pelicans don't really have a backup four right now. Who's their backup four right now? Like Carlo Makovich? Like, come on, like let's be real here. So
Carlo, baby, Carlo crazies.
yeah, yeah, okay. I mean, the Pelicans, it would fill out a lot of depth. It'd fill out your. I don't know if Kessler would start, but it would definitely. I'm assuming you would. It would definitely help. Use a rim
So that's
protector,
a block.
but
They're gonna review that. Jokic's like, oh, dude, this guy's so fucking smart. He knows.
yeah.
Yeah, they're reviewing it.
So what do you think? You're gonna roll? Yeah, I guess you roll into the season with Ingram, right?
Yeah, hundred
That's gonna be a
percent.
disaster. This team is not. Griffin's added a bunch of like. Griffin's going to war with like a ton of ammo, but like with not the right guns. Like he has a ton of like stuff you
Dude,
want, but he doesn't.
he started refurbishing his house, right? He made a really good kitchen with Javante Murray, but then now he's got a hole in the wall that he hasn't fixed up with the center position, and they're done refurbishing it.
Yeah, there's a different. I'm trying to think of like the best analogy. I don't. He just has a bunch of like good, solid pieces that just don't fit. Like all these guys are ball dominant guys. Like the only guys who don't need the ball is like Herb Jones and I guess you could say Murphy, but hell, even Jordan Hawkins needs the ball. Like that dude moves around a lot, but like he doesn't play that great defense. Like you have to move him around. Like this team's really talented. Like I'm grateful that like it's probably the most talented team we've had, and we've been saying that the past like 3 years. Basically, it keeps getting better, but like same time, it just doesn't fit. So um, I don't know. I've always said like wait for the right time for that guy to come be available, but I just don't know who it is. And yeah, he missed his time to trade Ingram, but it is what it is. You can't dwell on it, but I just don't know what the move is. I mean, you're gonna rely on a lot of guys to be unselfish. Um, I don't know, man. Be interesting to see. I haven't tried to. There really hasn't been much. I know the guy from Clutch Points. One insider said him and Levine have no market, so I just don't know what it would be. Um, but yeah, Utah seems like a natural. We'll see. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I agree, man. So
Anything else you want to hit on?
that's all I got. Curry, I think, has 17 points, so I kind of want to watch the rest of this game. This game's really good right now.
Predictions for the preseason game. Two players you want to watch, and I guess
Spencer Rattler
Rattler's an obvious
and
one. Yeah,
Kool-aid.
Kool-Aid. Okay, I'm assuming stars won't play. There's no reason, huh?
Broncos are playing all their starters.
Well, yeah.
You know
Well,
why? You know why? That's another difference. Broncos play their starters because they want to build callus. They want them to get in-game reps, so they're used to getting hit and they're used to playing at that speed.
I agree. I'm always pro just play them
Dan
a
Campbell's
quarter.
been like that too.
Yeah, no, I mean the league has gotten soft. Like they don't even have 2 days anymore. Like these guys are supposed to come in to this stuff like in total in shape. There's like they spend millions of dollars on their body and everything else, and like I understand it's a long, grueling season, but like you kind of need to build yourself up to that. Like anyone who's ever played football knows, like there's in shape and then there's hitting shape. So like you do build it up. Yeah, I'm always pro play him a quarter or two. No, not two, but I always play him a quarter at least or a couple possessions. So, um, yeah, Rattlers and obviously when that guy, like I said, that guy, the defensive tackle Boyd, that's who I'm looking out for. But and I guess possible third receiver to emerge. So we'll see. But yeah, if you guys can like and subscribe, would really appreciate it. And go Team USA.
USA, USA, USA.